2,600 years ago, an Egyptian king locked two newborn babies in a stone room. No talking, no singing, no words at all, just silence. He wanted to answer one question that still keeps scientists up at night. If nobody ever taught you to speak, would you invent language anyway? The answer he got was strange enough to survive 2,600 years of history. And by the end of this video, you'll find out it was only half right. Because here's the truth. Language might be the single greatest invention humans never actually agreed to invent. No meeting, no genius founder, no first day it started. And yet right now, you're using it to understand every word I'm saying. So how did billions of people end up speaking over 7,000 different languages, built from nothing but breath and sound? Stick around. The final answer connects straight back to the locked room. Let's start with that Egyptian king. His name was Psamtik. According to the ancient historian Herodotus, Psamtik handed the two babies to a shepherd with one strict order: never speak a single word around them. 2 years passed. The babies grew, and one day, they reportedly ran toward the shepherd, shouting one word over and over. Bekos. Psamtik searched every language in his kingdom. Nothing matched, until someone told him Bekos meant bread in Phrygian, a language from modern-day Turkey. His conclusion? Phrygian had to be humanity's original language, hardwired into our brains before anyone teaches us a thing. But here's where it gets strange. A different king, over 1,800 years later, ran the exact same experiment and got the opposite result. The Mughal emperor Akbar built an entire silent palace just to test this. He called it the House of Silence. Children were raised inside, fed and cared for, but never spoken to. Not once. The result? By age 12, those kids couldn't speak at all. No words, no language, just gestures and grunts. So who was right? Was language buried inside us from birth? Or does it vanish completely without other humans around to teach it? Modern science finally settled this, and the real reason is even crazier than either king imagined. In the 1970s, researchers found a girl in California who'd been locked alone in a room for almost her entire childhood. Nobody spoke to her. By the time she was rescued at 13, her brain had already missed something scientists call the critical period, a closing window for learning language. She could learn words, but she could never master grammar, never build a sentence the way you just did, automatically, without even trying. That's when scientists realized something huge. Language isn't just knowledge, it's biology with a deadline. But if isolation kills language, how did humans ever invent it in the first place? Someone had to be first, and that's only the beginning of the real mystery. Fast forward to Nicaragua, the 1980s. After a revolution, the government opened the country's first schools for deaf children. These kids had never learned any formal sign language. Most only used basic gestures at home. Nobody taught them grammar. Nobody designed a curriculum. Researchers just watched. Within a single generation, those children built, completely from scratch, a full grammatical sign language, tenses, word order, complex sentence structure, all invented by kids with zero adult instruction. Scientists now call it Nicaraguan Sign Language, and it proves something wild. Humans don't just learn language, we manufacture it automatically the second we're dropped into a group, which raises an even bigger question. If language basically builds itself, how far back does this actually go? Here's where things get ancient. Scientists found a gene called FOXP2, sometimes nicknamed the language gene. People with damaged versions of it struggle to form proper sentences, even when their intelligence is completely normal. Then researchers checked something unexpected, Neanderthal DNA, and found the exact same gene. That single discovery changed how scientists think about our extinct cousins. Neanderthals may have carried the biological hardware for speech, hundreds of thousands of years before modern humans even showed up. But having the hardware isn't the same as having a reason to use it. And before we get to that reason, here's a twist that'll make you look at every nature documentary differently. Scientists actually tried to teach real language to animals. A bonobo named Kanzi learned hundreds of symbols and understood spoken English well enough to follow complicated instructions. A gorilla named Coco learned over 1,000 signs. Both were smart, both could communicate, but neither one ever built a real grammatical sentence. No tenses, no word order rules. They could say, "want banana." They could never say, "I wanted the banana you hid yesterday." That gap is everything. It means grammar isn't just intelligence. It's not even communication, really. It's a completely different piece of software. And so far, only one species on Earth seems to be running it. So why would early humans bother evolving something this complicated, while every other animal on the planet got left behind? This is where it gets almost embarrassing. The leading theory isn't about hunting mammoths or shouting warnings about predators. It's gossip. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar argued that as human groups grew bigger, grooming each other, like apes do, stopped being enough to hold the group together. You physically cannot groom 150 people, but you can talk to them. In this theory, language evolved as a replacement for picking bugs off your neighbor's back, a faster way to bond, build trust, and quietly keep track of who's reliable and who isn't. In other words, the most powerful tool in human history might have started as ancient small talk. And it gets even funnier when you look at the first time humans ever wrote language down. Forget poetry, forget mythology. The earliest known writing, Sumerian cuneiform, over 5,000 years old, wasn't used to tell stories. It was used to track beer rations and grain shipments. The first sentence humans ever permanently recorded wasn't, "I love you," or "the gods made the world." It was basically an invoice. Mythology tells a very different version of this story, though. In the Bible, the Tower of Babel claims humanity once spoke a single language until it was shattered into thousands of pieces as punishment for human pride. It's a beautiful story. But real science suggests almost the opposite happened. Language didn't shatter from one. It multiplied from many tiny, separate sparks. Different groups, different continents, inventing grammar independently, the exact same way those kids in Nicaragua did. Which finally brings us back to that locked room in Egypt. Psamtik thought silence would reveal humanity's original language. Akbar thought silence would prove language has to be taught. Both kings missed the real answer completely. Language was never hiding inside one child, waiting to be unlocked. And it was never something elders had to carefully hand down either. It's something that ignites the second humans connect. Leave a brain in enough silence, and language dies. Drop a group of children together with nothing but each other, and language explodes into existence. Fully formed, grammar and all. We didn't invent language the way we invented the wheel. We grew it, the same way a fire grows the moment enough fuel finally touches a spark. You're not just speaking a language right now. You're carrying the end result of hundreds of thousands of years of human brains refusing to stay silent. If that just made human history feel a whole lot stranger, that's exactly why this channel exists.